Hi, welcome back. It's recording, right? Yeah, okay. Uh, playing a game. 34 hours, oh my god, what the fuck? I might have played a bit off camera. Honestly, like when I grind for stuff, or just in general, just playing the game, I'm just like, it's just like my job more than like anything. It's like, do I like playing it? No. As evidenced by the last video, I'm just like, but do I do stuff in it? I mean, as a person who like, if you give me objectives, I like do them. Uh, yeah. It's one of the reasons why like I can play stuff like this. It's because it's just like, oh, uh, you should do so and so to make so and so weapon or armor, and I'm like, okay, sure, I'll do that. So, yeah. With that said, I guess we're advancing whatever story there may be. Only reason why I still record this is because there's still the plot of the Dickens. It is 11:02 p.m. right now, and I may or may not. I don't know how long my recording session is going to be. My brother is going to wake up for work in roughly 3 to 4 hours. Admittingly, though, when he wakes up, he probably just gonna leave immediately. He won't actually be using the living room in any way, shape, or form, so I can probably get away with that. But it's also just a good sign for me to stop anyways. Hey, what's up? Damn, you saw me, dude. I can't believe it. I had this thought the other day, but the other day, I mean, today, I don't know. I honestly don't remember what the hell's happening in this game anymore. But I know a lot of people, myself included, started to use the facilities or eating in the actual like areas. And the reason why we do that is because something like, oh, you know, it's so convenient that you can eat on the world map, blah, 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 and we do all these things. Like, and you can do it if you forget to eat, and oh, blah. I think what I've discovered is that I think some people just confuse the convenience of eating on, like, when you're in an area, because they don't compare it to the fact that it's really inconvenient to eat when you're in town, actually, because they put the canteen 3 million years away. And that the town is way bigger in this game than it's supposed to be, considering all you ever really do in the town is just, you know, want to use all its facilities. And like the canteen's like one of the furthest things away from you in the town, actually, from where you would start. So another instance of the game still thinks I'm in combat. Fantastic. Not that we're in high rank though, probably making the trek to the canteen is probably actually worth it. In case you get dropped off in situations like this where you can't use warp to a camp. But I don't know. Honestly, the fact that you can't warp during combat is like fine. That makes sense, you know. Shouldn't be able to do that. But sometimes I wonder about the game's detection for wondering if you're in combat or not. Though it's like that for basically about every game that has this kind of concept, where if you can't do anything, you can't do certain things during combat, and the game has weird triggers for taking you out of combat or whatever, which is really inconvenient. Dude, I sound dead inside already playing this. Like, oh my god. I forgot to change the weapons. Whatever, I'll just keep this weapon on. I was supposed to switch to the, you know, whatever, I'll just keep this weapon on. I was supposed to switch to a water weapon, it's fine. I have that made. I'm not gonna say anything about how many times I had to fight, what's his name? J-Fish? Girotodos. Because, this game is pretty ruthless when it comes to giving me, stack-related items, it turns out. So about the only two things I ended up farming was just Jira, Todos, and Rathalos a lot. I ended up making the alpha armor for Rathalos mostly because I just think it looks better, and I use the word better in quotes because I still don't really like how this looks. But Rathalos is pretty easy to farm, so that's one of the reasons why I did it. Get some more defense for what that's worth. Though I can't upgrade the armor for it, because I don't know if I'm like the right rank or whatever. Are we playing like hopscotch? What's happening? Leapfrog. Dude, I'm trying to hit this guy, and he will not let me. Oh, the other things I ended up doing was like various bounties, talking to some of the NPCs on the world map, helping them out so I can get more food items. As well as actually ended up gathering some food items if I saw those areas have an upsurge of like a material. I don't know how many food items I have, but I got some. I also no longer have the health charm on, so my max HP is a bit lower than I would like for it to be. I put on the handicap charm instead, which gives you 10 whole points for your sharpness, which is pretty crap and not useful at all. But I figured it's probably not a bad thing to have in the future for upgrading. I'm just trying to hit this guy's tail, and it's not really working out that well. Oh yeah, I've been using the Bandit Mantle. Honestly, the income it gives you is actually quite good for this point in the game. But I also often forget about mantles are fucking ugly, dude. Like, they're like... So my opinion of mantles, as I continue to use them more and more, like, as I continue to use the features of the game more and more, is that mantles, like, they remind me a lot of, Y-stones, actually, in the fact that they're just windows of opportunity for you to attack. And when they're down, like, let's say you're fighting a monster, like, Kirin or something, and you don't have stun res, and you put the Thunderblade Mantle on because it's really strong. Or let's say you're fighting, like, Gyarados, and the water is somehow really bothering you. Like really bothering you, so you put that one on instead. They're just like a window of opportunities for you to attack. So let's say for like 3 minutes you could do so and so, and then it's down for like 4 minutes. But it's really annoying having to deal with like that kind of cycle-based combat of like, let's say, you know, for so and so amount of time, this fight is not dangerous, but then after that, it becomes like really dangerous again. And let's say you don't output that much damage in that cycle, and you're just crying the whole time. So in a sense, they're like Y-stones from 4, which was one of my least favorite concepts of that game. Actually, this game actually has a lot of my least favorite concepts from 4 still in the game. Is another thing I've noticed, but we'll get into that in a second. I'll get into that after this one. So like in 4, Y-stones are used to fight like the frenzied monsters. Is that what they're called? And the Apex monster specifically, that's like the end game people know about. And they're just windows of opportunity for your attack. So let's say you're fighting like Apex, whatever, I don't know. Joe and Rajang, I'm sure, are famous examples. And let's say, like, if you don't knock them out of Apex with your Y-stone, then you're just super screwed. That like activation cycle is just super wasteful, you know. If we're talking about games with MMOs with like buffs that are down longer than they're up, it's, you know. It's like some of them are really strong too, but let me tell you, in those games, if I could choose not to spec into some of those buffs, I wouldn't, because just the amount of uptime is just not good, you know, especially if you go like whiff whiffing is just a big deal about it. It's not very an empowered thing to the player. Like imagine like doing the what is it? Is it Apex Joe or a Frenzy Joe? I don't remember. The arena of him. If you don't knock him out with the Y Stone, then that's it. That's the run. The arena runs is over. As far as anything time based, time related, you're not getting a good time at that point. Most likely. So in a sense, Mantles kind of reminded me of that. Like I said, they're also fucking ugly. Like here's my character's outfit, right? Like let's just say this is an outfit that I worked hard to farm or something like that. I'm using all these different quotes, by the way, if you can't hear me. And I put it on the mantle, and it's just like, and now I look like Moss Man. But like, what the hell is that about? Not to mention, if you take off the mantle like this, it actually completely goes on cooldown. I think it'd be pretty cool if like, if it refunded you the cooldown for all the time you're not using it. Though, like, why would you take it off? I don't know. There's a button too. It's bound to happen sometime. Did I master the second time already? I think so. So there's that. That aspect of 4 I really don't like. Guilds, investigations remind me a lot of like guild quests, which is another thing I don't like. And them kind of appearing, let's just say randomly, because that's what it currently feels like. Random their random objectives and how boring they are in their quest descriptions and all that. That's another aspect of it I don't really like. And then mounting on this game also reminds me a lot of 4, in the sense that it's really easy to do. Let's just say like the first mount you get on a monster is practically free, like one jump. And then the scaling on it doesn't go up that much higher. And not only is it that, it's also the least interactive like it is in 4. Because other people can't hit the monster and make it fall off, and you can't sometimes get to like your aerial finisher or whatever. Like it's not as punishing in 4, like it's not as punishing like in 4, like if someone knocks you off, because you know you're still getting a knockdown most likely. Because like in 4, if you made the monster flinch, that would knock you off, and that would feel super wasteful. But if the monster flinches in this game, it won't happen. They have to fall down some way. But in some senses, they can still be pretty wasteful if they still fall down before you get the mount off. Alright, Devil Joe. Like good old like 4 insect glaive where like you jump attack like twice with it, and you're on a monster. What do you want? Bootleg the Regios. If this game was made during the development of, after the development of 4, both this and Gen were being made like roughly at the same time. I think the people in Gen who made Gen learned quite a bit from some of the mistakes of 4, and the people who made this didn't. Man, it meant something not be used. Maybe it does refund some of the time, because that actually went by pretty fast. I will retract my statement and instead come up with a new statement that indicates that the visual for it refunding your time is not nearly very well shown visually. That much time actually passed by and I wasn't paying attention. At which point I retract that statement and go back to my original one. Either ways it can be improved upon. If there's a hide mantle option, someone let me know. because I would appreciate that. I don't think I'm quite at the point in this game yet where I'm gonna put mods in to like fix some of the problems that I have. That'll probably happen once I'm like closer to a point in the game where I'm done with the game. But because I don't know, I'm really not a person who likes utilizing mods in any way, shape, or form. Even if it allows for like cool stuff. Kind of janky. I always think like, well, yeah, I always think like mods are kind of like a way of saying that you're better than like the game developer sometimes. And I don't care if it like is true. It just sounds pretentious. Like no matter like how much I think a game can be improved upon with mods, I'm gonna let the game itself stand and speak for itself rather than like try to hide these mistakes with like fixes. You're gonna have to live with your consequences, damn it. This is it. This is the fucking game you're playing. I'm not gonna sit back and just ignore those parts, you know. Also, it died. I didn't really want to record today, as per the usual, but since I do play the game on my own free time, I do want to unlock some more things for me to be doing. I've started working on a collection of Switch X's, so that'll probably give me something to farm. And then once I've created like enough Switch X's, I'll may or may not consider learning other weapons. Though my desire to learn other weapons in this game is not nearly that high. The canteen has been upgraded. Fantastic. Everyone here is just thrilled. I'm the most thrilled out of all of you guys. You don't even know. Yeah. So I've maxed out the meter since then. It won't be long. As in, you should talk to him yourself. Fucking idiot. Great Gyros. Yeah, I haven't fought him. I've been to that area, and I've been to like the Coral Highlands and Rotten Vale, but I haven't fought any monsters there. I haven't even fought Tobi Kadachi yet. Kobe Tamagotchi. Even though I'm supposed to be farming her lighting weapon. A new plateau. Ah. Oh, you get fixed ones. I see. Exhilarating. Decorations are basically just the charms of the game, and charms became the decorations of the game. Old world monster in the new world. You know that this would Rathian itself is already an old world monster in the new world, right? Game. Hello. Bueller. Here's a water weapon. I'll use it because it's probably better in these scenarios. Let's go appease the canteen gods. It's literally like the furthest thing away from you. Imagine having a town where everything is like in a good position. We really half-assed it, honestly. With this canteen and also the fact that you can't access Tail Raider expedition thingies, Tail Raider Safari from anywhere but your room that I can see. Like, mistakes were just made, frankly. Didn't accept the quest. I just heard the news. The part where I won't shut up. Complete the assignment, dude. The plot thickens. Hopefully by raising my HR a bit today, I can actually start farming some of the things that I want to farm with actual quests. Because I farmed Rathalos armor just by doing expeditions. I know I complain a lot about always online gaming, but actually my biggest complaint about it for in this game is kind of like a small one, or I don't know how small it is in retrospect, but I just don't like the fact that because I'm always online, there's no pause button. So it's a feature I like to use quite a bit. You know, I like it when I can pause my game. Seem basic necessity sometimes. Like what? Like if my game is online, sure, I understand if I can't pause it. But for this kind of game, I think it's kind of unacceptable. So make all your arguments about always online gaming and how much they suck, and you know they'd all be right or whatever. But I just want to pause, damn it. How did this happen? How did this happen? One of those. Alright, well, time to die to think Rathian. Hello? I've discovered flash pods work better the higher up you aim them because the x-axis or the y-axis on them is actually y-axis. Is that what we're calling it? The y-axis on them is actually fairly decent, so you can actually afford to aim them like straight up like this, and that helps you get the position for it better. Figuring out the jank science behind it all. I must say, even though I'm dead inside, I'm talking a lot, so that's good for the video. I don't know what the heck these cat things are. Cats? I don't know. Chocolakas? Grimulkin? Kate Siths? But whatever they are, they're impressive, frankly. Hi. I just thought, where, I think one of the actual downsides about having, like, there's a good side about having, I guess, like, flash pods on all the time on your pod racing, is that you have access to it without having the menu, which I guess is, like, something they really wanted to try to push with, like, radio menu and all that stuff. But the downside about it is that you just can't have other slinger things in it at all. And this game makes a pretty big deal out of like monsters dropping slinger ammo and things like that to use. And yet you can't really utilize it anymore. Everything is just so counterintuitive. But yeah, with those enemies, it just honestly kind of more confirms the idea to me that everything in this game does more damage than me. I'm the most useless hunter ever. Why can't I have weapons that have every single status in the game? It's messed up. Thanks, bro. Honestly, for a second, Legiana showed up, and I was like, oh, Azura's here too. We've got the dual Fecta. A throwing knife. That's not what I wanted to press. Is Legiana also down here? Yes. You'll get yours later, dude. Oh god. You know, what? When I press really? When I press the pod racer button, I'd like for you to equip it. That would be nice. Somehow Legiana won the stare off. Now I'm chasing after Bingra at the end. Why is it that... Okay, what? Why did it take so long for the jump down button to appear? I was like, did the game just lead me to a dead end? You know, like the thing where like, for some reason, in video games, if it's not on camera, it doesn't exist. And you know, that happens a lot with like older games, with NES, SNES games, you know. But why is it that it's still like a pretty common thing in like a lot of modern games if you're trying to like examine something? Like you have to, I find there are a lot of games where you have to tilt the camera a certain way in order for you to be able to like examine something, which is just bizarre as hell. Flash. I've honestly considered just muting this game and putting on like my own music. I don't know what my own music would consist of though. That wouldn't be like songs that have lyrics, aka songs. Just so I have something of my own interest in the background. But, nope, we're living with it. This is the game. In my own time though, I do mute the music and I usually just put on videos in the background, which is about something I do with a lot of games I play. If I'm like doing something that's mindless is not the word I want to use, but if I'm gonna do something for a long time. Grinding, I guess. Usually in grinder situations is what I would want to do. Alright, so where are you flying to? There's a... What is this camp? What the heck? Are you going over here? Oh wait, this camp is... I don't think I actually have all the camps in the game. Mostly because I feel that way, because I feel like I don't have that many camps to begin with. I mean, I do have all the camps in the game. This game is really imbalanced when it comes to putting camp locations, because there's only like 2 in, I only have 2, excuse me, in Ronvale, and this area, I think. Bastion doesn't fly back in this game when she roars. Nice flash fire location. Okay. You know when monsters fall down, they fall down like a brick. Oops. I meant to jump down, but I actually don't know the controls to just jump off of it. Other than that, I press it accidentally all the time. I guess it's like circle. A button. Otherwise known as the B button. Isn't video game controller terminology great? I'm gonna get hit, aren't I? You called? Yeah, you're getting bodied, dude. You might You might want that to not happen to you. You did it. It's monster subspecies. In our video game, we can't allow that. That's basically what you said. She's like, fuck that shit. I thought this game was for bitches. I know expeditions are a pretty big part of the game because you can do everything on the world, this like area map, and you can travel between them by opening up the map menu I've discovered, so you don't have to go back to town each time. But with the amount of things that you do in town, like farm and all that stuff, and with the fact that you still have to go through like the motions when you want to leave the area and go to a different area anyways, like. Is it? Does it honestly feel any better? We dragged it back. Yes, it's pink. Good job.
Dau poslami hilse. Miruto malashi. Sebetomlai tuluk. Restaro la poradauta.
Science.
Noega origits Yildaz. Yuhiksto Nigra.
I am the all-knowing character. What the hell? Is that a lion? Take this, my fist attack. What'd you say? Wow, look at these valuables. I tossed them all on the ground.
Ra Hideku. Rom termem fasuki. Sosue. Kerashimo Rokra.
Eta siki. Kteala Ehalai Simika.
What?
Ya bark. Lemu tue. Lekitunu shirakis garinu.
I thought I turned off my helmet. What am I trying to say? I thought my helmet was supposed to be on during cutscenes. I feel like I didn't change that option at all. I guess I'll look after this. You also hate being a part of this game apparently, because you only showed up now. Let's see. Options. What is it? Game settings, head armor, show. It's on show. I just want to point out the fact that it's on show instead of hide. What is the point of having options in your game when they don't actually work? Like, motherfucking what? More importantly, why does this keep happening? Where my options don't fucking work. Okay.